Welcome to this week's episode of podcast with me, Russell Davis. Often people feel that change must be hard work. They've been stuck in a rut for some time, having maybe a limiting belief or negative belief for many years, even decades. Is it really possible to change? Sure, it takes a long time to let these well-entrenched thoughts and feelings go. What if that's not the case? What if change can be easier than you think? Let's dive in and find out how that's true. So people come to see me because they want change. They want to change some aspects of themselves, what they think of themselves. Basically, it's what we think of ourselves creates how we feel about ourselves, creates how we feel about different situations and circumstances. It shapes our behaviors. So how do you change what you think about yourself, these beliefs that maybe you've had for many, many years, sometimes decades? And that's often a question I get. Well, I've had this for decades. How can I change it? It feels like a really hard work. And some forms of kind of therapy or counselling do believe that you've got to almost reparent yourself, and that takes many, many years. And that's not been my experience personally and of my clients. I think what I've come to see is that if you try and fight thought with thought, then that can take many, many years to fight the old thought patterns, to lay down new thought patterns from a conscious, cognitive thought perspective. And for me, the way I see it, it's not having a change of thought, it's about having a change of heart. Having a change of heart. The analogy I use is like having a friend or acquaintance you think you know and trust. You find out something new about them, you have a change of heart. You may know them for many, many years, but you find out this new information that may surprise you, and suddenly you've had a change of heart. You see them in a different light. Next time you see that person or think about them, you don't have to remember to apply the new thinking. You just had a change of heart. We've had thoughts and beliefs we've held on for a number of years, and in a moment we just let it go. Whether it's believing in Father Christmas or the Tooth Fairy or something like that, then at some point we just let it go, had a change of heart. We didn't have to spend a long time trying to hold on to the new way of thinking about it. We just let it go. And for me, it's about having an insight, a realization. It's like sometimes my wife might recommend a book or something to me, or a podcast or something, and I say, yeah, that's great, sounds great. And then I hear it from someone else, and they go, I'm going to read this book. She goes, I've been saying that for a long time. I go, yeah, so you have. But it's not until it lands in a deeper way, and sometimes we can't hear things from our nearest and dearest, but it's not until we get that moment of insight, it comes with us, we take more ownership of it. Like most people know what they need to do to be healthier. They know what they need to do. Perhaps not doing it to get that moment of insight, that change of heart. And sometimes that change of heart comes from maybe a health scare, or a health scare in someone close to them. We recognize the fragility of life, and suddenly we have a change of heart. And my mum smoked many cigarettes, 20 a day or something for decades. And suddenly she had a change of heart. She had a health scare, and boom, that was it. She never touched another cigarette. No patches, nothing, just done. Just done. It's a change of heart. So how do you create a change of heart? We can't force it. You can't force a change of heart. I think you can create an environment that invites a change of heart. Be more likely to have a change of heart. There used to be these magic high coloured images in the 90s where they're just like patterns, coloured patterns. And if you looked at these very brightly coloured patterns with a soft gaze, a 3D image kind of came out from it. I could never get them because I was trying too hard. I was forcing it, trying too hard to see it rather than having a relaxed, soft gaze, and the image comes to you. The image comes to you. I think in the same way, a change of heart or an insight, a realization comes to you. I was exploring the psychology of our mind, for 3 principles for many years, and there's something really attractive about it, and I got some really value from it, but there was something that was getting in my way from really having a change of heart about the relationship with myself, my thinking, my thoughts, my judgments, my experience of life. And it was because I was trying too hard. And a friend kindly pointed it out that I was trying too hard. So I remember sitting in a conference, and I thought, right, I'm going to the next session and just not try and just be. Almost let the speaker's words just wash over me in the background, like listening to a meditation maybe. Just be aware of my breath and just be in the moment. And not try and get what he's saying or she's saying. It was actually him, but what he was saying, not trying to get change from it and really desperately wanting some realization or some insight, some change within me, some benefit, some value, some therapeutic benefit from listening to what he was saying. So I just remember sitting there, just being aware of my breath and letting it wash over in the background, and suddenly these feelings sort of bubble up within me. These insights about how hard I'm on myself, how I don't love myself. And I can't remember what his words were saying, what the subject was, but I can remember what it triggered within me. And this self-compassion really flowed in. And I could feel this self-compassion so palpably, I started to cry. That I could recognize and how hard I am on myself. I don't need to be. I had an insight. And that's happened more than once. When I'm doing a live talk or listening to a recording, just allow myself to listen in that way. It's what it evokes within us that makes the difference. We've got to take ownership of it. It's got to come from our own being, our own soul. That's when it lands. Whether it's a talk like that or a book recommendation or changing our diet, it's got to come from within us at a deeper level. There's a difference between knowing something intellectually and knowing in our heart and our soul. When I work with the clients, everything I say is pointed to our unconscious mind. It doesn't mean they're in a state of trance. Sometimes you do these eyes closed, getting to imagine something. They're in a light state of trance, but even conversationally, I actually point them back to themselves. It's the direction my words are pointing them towards it more important than the words themselves. It's what they hear within themselves. It's insight-based. Insight-based. Insights evoke change. Sometimes we've got the insight, okay, we're done. That needs time just to sink in, rather than going back into our heads. It just needs time to filter through, to savor. And often we're racing from one thing to another. We don't allow that space, that time, just to be and connect to our true self. I guess like a meditation, just being. Listen to content from meditative state. Listen to people from meditative state. Quiet mind. That's when we get insights. That's when people feel more heard and understood. That's when our mind opens to really understand things in a fresh way. Slowing our mind down that way, we can speed up in life because it becomes easier. We get insights and clarity and realizations. Just creating a space, the environment to be more likely to hear those things. And sometimes our mind is so busy we don't give them space for that. Our mind is like a brass band playing in our head, and that moment of insight, clarity, is that space between thought. It's like a still soft flute being drowned out by this brass band. And I guess when I sat in that talk, listening to the guy speaking, I was just being aware of my breath. I was quieted in my mind, allowing myself to be, just to be in that moment, to not think about what he was saying, just to be, just to be. I think change comes from allowing ourselves to be, to hear something deep within us. And there's a difference between knowing intellectually and trying to change at an intellectual level and hearing something even deeper. As Einstein says, you can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness, same thinking, you've been creating it. And our mind quietens. It's a change of heart. And from my experience, that change of heart allows the change to be organic. It's not something we have to apply. It's not something we apply. We've had a change of heart. It allows this organic, more permanent change from the inside out. So change is possible. We're built for realizations. We're built for insights. Open your mind just to, or slow your mind down. Allow yourself to slow your mind down. Allow yourself to slow down to speed up. Allow yourself to breathe into the moment. There's a still soft flute playing in the background that has the clarity, inspiration, and wisdom that can change your life dramatically from the inside out. We all have that. Yeah, sometimes we need some help pointing towards it, but it's there, it's innate. I point people back into themselves. I don't fix them or change them. I point them back in the direction, and the change happens from within. Just be curious about what your still soft flute playing in the background is wanting to say to you. Loving you.